Hi guys, hello everyone. In today's video, I would like to share with you guys my experiences of being here in Canada for almost 3 months now. So for those of you who don't know, I am currently in Canada, in Quebec, near Montreal, and it's my first time here, and I have a couple of snacks that I want to try. So while trying out these snacks, I thought it was a fun idea to also talk about things that I noticed that are very different from the Netherlands or Europe, and just some fun things to share my experiences and differences. So let's get started. The snacks that I have, I don't have many, but there's just a few things that I saw that caught my eye and that we don't have in the Netherlands. So they might not all be very Canadian, but they might be North American in general. And many North American snacks are still pretty new and different from what I'm used to. So let's get started. So I first want to try out one snack, like the first snack, while also telling you guys about the first thing that I immediately noticed when arriving here. So I'm gonna start with something. Oh, it's so difficult. I'm gonna start with something savory and work my way down to the sweet things, because I know myself, if I have something savory, I want to have something sweet after. So I have these chips. They're Ketchup Chips by Lay's. I've also seen, I think the brand was Ruffle, like another brand that also sells ketchup chips, but these are ketchup chips. And we do have ketchup chips in the Netherlands, but first of all, they're like the rippled chips, so not the flat ones. And second of all, they're not red. So we have ketchup chips, but they're more like your standard chip color with a bit of like orange powder on it. And these are actually red. And I love ketchup chips in the Netherlands, so I really want to try these out. I bought a small bag, but because I'm gonna try many things, and I know myself, I have a hard time not finishing a bag of chips. So yeah, that sentence was correct. So I bought a small one in case I finish it, I don't feel as bad. They smell just like ketchup chips. They look super different though. Trying to get one. They're almost purple. Come on, focus. You got this. Yes. So it's almost purple. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, this bag is not gonna last. Oh my god. These are so good. I'm trying to figure out what makes them different from the ones we have in the Netherlands. They might be a bit sweeter. They really taste like Heinz ketchup. They're a bit sweeter. They're really good. I think the ones we have in the Netherlands are a bit more sour. They have a different aftertaste, but they're very similar. I really like this. It's great. So, the first thing I want to discuss, give me a sec, is that everything here is big. Everything's big. I arrived. Many of the cars I see are big. There's a lot of pickup trucks. We don't have them in the Netherlands. Barely. They're not efficient cars to have. Our country is flat. It's small. You can go from north to south in like 3 hours. They're just not efficient. There's a lot of big trucks, pickup trucks. The big trucks look very different here. The trucks that we have in the Netherlands or Europe, I think, have a different model. The ones here look more like old school, like American big trucks. They have like the big pipes at the side. They kind of look like a show model that we in Europe would have on, I don't know, car conventions and be like, look at this truck, it's so cool and different. And then ours look more like smooth, a bit more modern. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's one of the things that I noticed. And then I got a coffee, and at Tim Hortons, I love Timmy's. I'm addicted, okay? I'm hooked. I'm gonna miss it so much, but I got a large coffee and it was so big. I think the medium here is the large that I usually get at McDonald's in the Netherlands or many other places. The only place in the Netherlands that serves like small, medium, large compared to how you get them here is Starbucks. Most other places, it's definitely smaller. I felt like the roads are bigger. The Netherlands is a very small, highly populated country. Space is scarce. We lack space, basically. So, roads are tiny. You're all cramped up with your cars. And here you had a lot of space on the roads, which is good. But then on the other hand, it's less bike friendly. The Netherlands is built on having a bicycle and biking everywhere. With a bicycle, I should make the difference because a bike here is a motorcycle, motorbike. It's confusing to me. Anyway, because cars go so fast, I feel like everywhere because you have more space. So at certain roads, you tend to go faster. I guess, but yeah. Then supermarkets have a lot of more options for foods. Like the aisle for cereals, it's crazy. There's so many flavors for us. It would be like one small part of the aisle has a few cereals. Here, the entire aisle would be cereals. It's the same with like pastas. You have all these brands of uncooked pastas. We just have like one or two, like one brand and one home brand. It was a bit overwhelming at first. I was like, why are there so many options? Because the price barely like differs that much. So you're only making it harder on people by having so many options. I think it's a bit unnecessary. I'm also just not used to it. For the chocolate and the chips and the cookie section, it's great. Because you'll have a lot of options. But yeah, that's one of the things I noticed. Food packagings are bigger, like they put more of the product in one package, which does not always have to be a good thing in my opinion, because you tend to overbuy. Like, you'll get more than you need and you tend to eat more, you might waste more. So yeah, I also went to Costco and that was an experience. It was like being in the IKEA for food. They had like all these storage things, high up, and bags of chips that are like this big. And yeah, it was a bit overwhelming, but it was an experience. It was fun. I had a great time by just going into a Costco. So yeah, I'm gonna have another chip. So good. Then another thing I noticed that is kind of related is that taxes here are calculated like separately. So you buy something and then the price that you see is not the price that you pay. Like you go and pay and then you'll get extra taxes calculated on top of the price. That's so weird for me because we pay taxes on most of the things. Like there's like medicines and certain foods and stuff that don't have taxes. I think it's similar here. But if you need to pay taxes, it's included in the price. So what you see will always be what you buy. Like the price you see is what you pay. That's what I tried to say. So you'll never be surprised. You don't need to do some calculations. Because sometimes I saw things I was like, it's not too expensive, I'll buy it. And then you'll get the taxes. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about those. And now it's kind of pricey, you know. So that's super weird to me. Like tips are also a big thing here, and in the Netherlands tips are not. If you work in a restaurant, you're not dependent on tips. You'll get a nice hour, like salary per hour, and tips if people do it. It's a nice extra, but it's not a thing for us. And here it is. So yeah. Another thing I want to try. This is probably not very Canadian, but whenever I went in supermarkets, I just bought a random brand also, but I see a lot of shortbread cookies, and I watch a lot of like cooking videos on YouTube, like recipes, and I used to watch a lot of sweet recipes on YouTube for like cookies, pastries, whatever. I have a vague memory of like some, maybe like cheesecake or something. I don't remember exactly, but some recipes asked for shortbread cookies, like crumble them up and use them as a base or something like that. We don't really have something called shortbread cookies. I know they're probably super basic here, but a shortbread cookie, it looks like something we would have, but I feel like they always look very buttery and nice. So I wanted to try it out, and I found this shortbread cookie with chocolate chips. I know that the normal shortbread cookie doesn't have chocolate chips, I believe, but I saw this and I was like, why not? I think I bought this at like Walmart or something. Also Walmart, we don't have them. Also quite an interesting experience for me. So I'm gonna open this up. I often went grocery shopping in an IGA. I don't know what I know that they're called differently in other provinces, if I'm correct. And I think here in Quebec it's an IGA. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I always saw these kind of cookies at like the pie, the cake, bakery section. and they always caught my attention. They look very buttery and nice indeed. I can't wait to try them. Come on, show this beautiful cookie. Here we go. Cheers. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted it to be like. It's so dense, compact, and it's not chewy. It's not like the chocolate chip cookies, but it's buttery and it's amazing. I love this. So I'm gonna look at the other thing I wrote down. I'm sorry if you're not into eating sounds. I'm terribly sorry. So another thing, when I first arrived here, the restaurants were still open. And I've been to a few restaurants where you could bring your own booze. You could bring your own wine or beer. My Dutch greedy self is screaming. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I really like that. So we went to restaurants where you could just bring your own bottle of wine, and the waiter even got a bucket with ice. But my wine bottle in there, like the ones that we bought, and poured our own wine in our glasses. Like, what? It's just so hard for me to imagine, because I feel like for us, restaurants would make a lot of money on like people buying the alcohol. Like alcohol, it's pricey in my opinion in a restaurant, and I can't imagine going there with my own bottle of wine and them serving it to me. It was just super nice. I loved it. I also want to share my first poutine experience with you guys. I had my poutine here in pretty much basically in Montreal. I've had several different ones, so I think I can say that I probably had the best poutine of Canada as a whole, because poutine, Quebec, but yeah. So yeah, my first experience with poutine, I think it was almost exactly what I expected it to be. I noticed that the fries are different than what I expected. The fries here are, first of all, they're more brown. They're brown and softer. I know they get soft from the gravy, but in general in the Netherlands, thick crispy fries are very popular. And here, they're all a bit more soggy, but still it was super good. The cheese though, I was a bit surprised, because they call it like squeaky cheese, right? But now I know why. Because when you chew on the cheese that they put in poutine, it just makes a little wah, wah, wah sound. It just makes a squeaky sound. that kind of gave me like goosebumps, and I felt a bit weird about it. But overall, poutine is great. I love it. I had different ones. I had one with like Portuguese chicken and sausage and I believe onion or something. There's a lot of variations, but I love it. I should actually say poutine, right? That's how you guys say it here. But anyway, yeah. So that was a nice experience. I really liked it. Then let me think. I'm also gonna open something else. So I know that I think this is just a general thing for North America. Reeses is a popular brand here. And Reeses is very American for me, for us in the Netherlands, probably in Europe. I don't even think that long ago, but still quite recently, Reeses became more popular for us. Before that, it was very hard to find, if not impossible to find. And now in the Netherlands, you can buy the packaging with like 2 Reeses cups. That's it. That's pretty much all you can get. And they're expensive because they're all imported and stuff. So yeah, here, since Reeses is more popular, there's a lot of different products. There's like white chocolate Reeses, there's the small cups, there's pretzels, there's Reeses chocolate bars, and I found kind of like Reeses M&Ms. So yeah, I'm really curious about those. So yeah, I love peanut butter and peanuts. So this sounds great, and I can already smell a very strong peanut butter scent or like peanut scent. Oh, it's gonna be great. Got a few out. Won't. There we go. So yeah, let's try. That's good. Very sweet. It's very sweet. That makes it a bit different, I think. Yeah. I'm sorry if this is gross to some of you, but you can see that the inside is peanut butter. So that's super nice. So another thing I noticed, this has to do with traffic. I noticed that the traffic lights are different. There's quite a few horizontal traffic lights here, like the yellow horizontal traffic lights. There's also vertical ones, but they also look very different from the traffic lights that we have in the Netherlands, and they also work a bit different because it's a bit weird and it might be a bit hard to explain, but in the Netherlands you have a separate traffic light for every lane. So if you're in your car and you want to go to the left, there's a traffic light on the left lane. If you want to go straight, let's say there's 2 lanes going straight, you have 2 traffic lights for going straight, and then 1 traffic light for going right. so you can't really miss with the lights. It's pretty obvious. So if your light on the left lane goes green, like turns green, like you know that that's the only lane for going left, so you can go to the left, you know. But here it's usually just like one traffic light for all the lanes, but then they do like different movements. Like the light can turn green, and that could mean that you can go both straight and turn left at the same time. And that's kind of weird for me, because I feel like for us, you would never be in a situation where you can both go left and straight at the same time as the people going straight. Like that. And maybe not even this. What is even weirder is that the opposite direction has the same. So like both directions can go straight and they can go to the left, and then you're kind of like awkwardly crossing each other in the middle, and you're so close to each other. It's weird. Like that would never happen for us if you go straight, you can go straight with the opposite direction, but not turn left. That would just never happen. That would be a different round of the traffic light, so you have to wait. So sometimes you have a flashing green light, meaning that you have priority on going to the left. Then you can have a flashing red light, which acts as a stop sign. I believe you have a flashing yellow light, but you also have non-flashing yellow lights. And then the same traffic light can be like a green circle, but it can also turn into an arrow. Like it's a bit complicated for me, because for us, one traffic light does not have that many functionalities. It's red, yellow, or it's green, basically. And it either has a circle or it's a complete separate traffic light and it has an arrow. So yeah, here it's just all combined in one traffic light, which is something to get used to, I guess. And then, wait, I'm gonna have another one of those. Then the rules on who has priority is also different here. So you can go to let's say you arrive at a crossroads. There's a lot of stop signs here in I think everywhere. Like I've been in Quebec and I've been to Ottawa and Toronto. There's a lot of stop signs everywhere. We don't really have them that often in the Netherlands. And here, you can arrive on a crossroads and, for example, all the sides have a stop sign and you need to stop. And if there's other cars, they also need to stop. And the person who stopped first has priority of going again. So you basically have to look at who is there first and who can leave first. We don't have that. For us, it's always the person from the right has priority. So if you arrive on a crossroad, you let the person from the right pass. If someone's there at the left, that means you can go because you're at the right for them. So that was a bit weird for me when I first got here. It seems like you really need to keep good track of who is first, and if there's a lot of cars approaching a crossroad, I feel like you kind of lose track and it gets a bit more complicated. But on the other hand, it's more fair because first come, first serve, basically. So you don't need to wait longer or anything. So it's fair, but it's just nothing I'm used to, so it's a bit different for me. Let me see what else. Oh, also the thing that you can go to the right even though you have a red light. You can go right if there's no traffic or nobody walking there. We don't have that, but I think it's a good rule. Because sometimes it just makes sense to me, but I'm not allowed to do it in the Netherlands, so yeah. I'm gonna show you guys another snack, and I know that this is a typical Canadian thing. We already ate some, so the box is not unopened. Some also broke a little bit, but so these are like cones with maple syrup fudge, kind of. They're very fudgy, and I really like them. So yeah. Then, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how I'm dealing with the weather. So, honestly, it's not that bad. It's not like you're struggling to survive or anything. If it's a very cold day, just stay inside with the heating on and you'll be fine. But I guess if you need to go to work every day, it's a bit more of a struggle. Because you need to shovel your car, shovel the snow, broom your car, heat your car before leaving. There's a lot of people shoveling the entrance of their houses and just making the way clear. And that is quite interesting to me because it means you need to put quite a lot of time of your free time into shoveling snow. And that kind of sucks because you didn't ask for this, and then you need to shovel your entrance, shovel your car. So yeah, that's a bit of the downside, I guess, in terms of how cold it is. I went to Quebec City for a weekend and it was -18 outside, and I didn't want to waste my weekend there, my only weekend in Quebec City. So I walked outside in -18 for the entire day. It was cold, like it really hurts on my legs. I was wearing jeans and no, that hurts. So I went back to the hotel and changed with like a lot of layers and fabric and no denim clothes. And like my hair got a bit frozen and my eyelashes, and if you breathe in like deeply through your nose, I could feel like, I don't know, like some wetness in my nose freezing up, or my nose hairs, I don't know. It was a weird feeling. And it also made my throat a bit ticklish, like I wanted to cough. So yeah. But if you dress well for the weather, like I borrowed some snow boots, snow pants, very thick coat, scarves, gloves, everything. It's fine, like it's not that bad. I went hiking on, what is it called? Raquette, I think. Like snow boots. And that was really fun. I really liked that. And it was not cold because you're also like active and moving. I also saw that many people have, I call it a DIY garage. A do-it-yourself garage. they have like these, what are they called? Tempo? It's like a white fabric cover that you put outside for your car so that your car like so that you don't have to shovel or broom it because of the snow. It's like covered, but they're so ugly. I think they look so bad, but I guess it's very practical. And when I was in Quebec City, there were people in like climbing gear who like work for the city, I guess, and they were climbing the rooftops to clear the snow off the roofs because there's like the danger of the snow falling down, and it can be quite a lot of snow at some point, and you don't want to walk there and get all this snow on top of you. So there's actually like people working to climb the roofs and clean them. Something I would have never thought of. I didn't know that existed. It was quite interesting for me. It's the same with all the cars that are shoveling snow all the time. And cars are super dirty because of all the sand, the salt, all the gravel and dirt that gets on their cars because of the snow. Also, the snow here is different from the snow that I have experienced in the Netherlands. So years ago, we used to have a little bit of snow every winter, but I feel like recently with global warming, we barely get any snow in winter. I think last year we skipped it even. This year, we didn't have any snow so far. So it's a bit sad, and when we have snow, it's usually very wet, and it doesn't stay, and if it stays for not too long, and it's still like very wet. And here, because it's like below zero and so cold for multiple days in a row, the snow gets super dry. It almost looks like sand. When you're on a highway or driving on the roads, you can look at the roads and you can see all the individual snow particles like blowing and moving over the roads as if it's sand. I've never seen that before because snow doesn't get that dry for us. And sometimes if you try to pick it up and squeeze it, it just, nothing happens. It doesn't form any ball or clump. You can just let go and it just falls down again. Because it's that dry, you can't make a snowball or a snowman. So that was interesting to me. I've also seen snow that basically looked fake. It just literally looks like fake snow. It's glittery, it has glitters and big flakes, and it just kind of looks like plastic snow, but it's real. It was so weird for me. It was beautiful though, it's really nice, but it just looked fake. And yeah, it's just so different from the snow that we have. I've also seen like snowflakes falling on my coat, and if you look at them up close, you can see the snowflake, like the little star, the actual pattern of snow. I've never seen it like that in real life. That was really nice. You can see how fudgy this is. Then another thing, but this is probably just my experience. that I want to share. And this is probably not special for many people, but for me it is. There are squirrels everywhere. There's squirrels everywhere, and I think they're so cute. I just can't handle them. Where I live in the Netherlands, we don't have squirrels. There's squirrels in some parts of the Netherlands, but it's more towards the east, in like the more like rural forest area. In the cities, no, not at all. It's not common to see a squirrel in the wild. So you see them everywhere here, and it's not special for people, but me, I'm like a kid running towards them. I got my peanuts in my pockets, and I'm feeding them peanuts and nuts and seeds and stuff. I made them eat out of my hand. I've seen a black squirrel. I've seen the regular, like the brown-gray squirrels. I've seen some almost white. It was like a beige squirrel. And then they have the fluffy tails, and they're so chubby, and their little tiny hands and fingers, and oh, they're so cute. And I've also seen some very cool birds. I think red cardinal, and I see ivy, blue ivy. I've seen like a very beautiful red, bright red, and a bright blue bird, and they were so cute. They were like right outside this window, and yeah, they're beautiful. I really like them. I just love animals, so this was really cool for me. And then the final thing I want to discuss, it's the like the stereotype people have of Canadians, like the friendly Canadians. From my experience, that's true. Like the people I've talked to, they're all very friendly. Especially when I was in, like when I went to Ottawa, everyone speaks English, so I can understand them, and I feel like it was a bit easier for them to also like talk to me, but I can also pick up random conversations, and everyone seemed very friendly. It's pretty much the same here in Quebec. The only difference is that I don't really understand them to begin with, because everyone speaks French. But once someone talks to me and I tell them, for example in a store or a restaurant, and I tell them, oh, I don't speak French, I speak English, they immediately switch to English, and they're super friendly, super helpful. Most of the people in the stores so far were like, the service was nice, they had like a nice tone in their voice, and they didn't sound as depressing and as if they would rather be somewhere else as much as I've experienced in other places. Like, at least people put like a bit of effort in trying to help their customers and sound like they like what they're doing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do really think that once you approach people and you talk to them, they always respond very nice. So that's a very nice thing. I can also really tell that the people are very proud of like their own little culture that they have here in Quebec, and they're proud of their language. And I think that Quebec French is super cool. You can really tell that it's some interesting like English influence, and the pronunciations, I like it. I've learned some swearing words, that's like the first thing you'll learn when you're in a different country, different culture, I guess. And it's funny how everyone here swears with religious stuff, and in the Netherlands we all swear with diseases for some reason. So yeah, interesting difference. So yeah, anyway guys, that kind of brings me towards the end of this video. I tried some different snacks, not a lot because I don't want to overdo it. If there's other snacks I should try, let me know so I can still get them before I go back to the Netherlands in 2 weeks, or like 10 days actually. I've had a great time here. I'll go back to Canada another time when it's summer, so I can do more hiking and more exploring in the nature without being too cold. But this was a fun experience too. Like somewhere this week it's gonna be -32 in the night, -32 degrees Celsius, and like -25 during the day. So yeah. But honestly, if you stay inside, it's not bad. You can even go outside for a little walk if you're dressed well. It's not that bad, okay? Just don't go outside all day. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for me or questions about my experience in Canada, let me know in the comments. I would love to answer them because I always like talking about these things. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. You would help me a lot. So, have a good day, have a good night. I see you guys next time.